exceptional students back there, who frequently earn competitive fellowships, hopefully Jamie will when I write his letter this evening, such as Fulbrights and Bournes, and move on to a variety of fascinating careers, and relatedly engaged alumni who assist students with fellowship and career opportunities and maintain a great interest in the direction of SIS and the university more generally. As director of SIS for 8 years, Professor Bill Perrin worked very closely not only with these current students, particularly in facilitating their engagement with those alumni, but also developed very strong relationships with these former Callison and SIS students. And so I'd ask him now to take over and say a few words about this project and their important contributions to it.
Before I get started, and I won't take more than a few minutes, but if anyone knows how to wear a mask without glasses fogging up, let me know. Sometimes it seems to work and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Just a little background on why we're here today. Back in March of 2019, so long ago, isn't it? Back then, Callison College alumni Randy Boyer, Wendy Case, Chris Sechet, and Frank Young responded to a request or a challenge from the development office here at Pacific to have Callison College endow a new study room as part of the library renovation. They accepted the challenge, and they enlisted other Callison alumni, Clara Genesee, Bill Maxwell, and John Copley, for a steering committee. The group then decided to ask SIS to join the effort, which made sense because SIS is essentially the descendant of Callison College. SIS, of course, agreed, fully supported the effort, and recommended SIS alumni Cheryl Crippen, who's with us today, and Amy Curley, who is living in Germany. We recommended them for the steering committee, and they both agreed. So they were part of this effort as well. The fundraising goal was substantial, and it had to be reached by the end of the year, 2019. To me, that I confess, that sounded like a bit of a pipe dream. Turns out I didn't fully understand the alumni commitment to international intercultural education here at Pacific. I didn't fully grasp it. Well over 100 alumni, as it turns out, beginning with the most recent alumni from SIS, and dating back to Callison in the late 60s. They came through and they met the fundraising goal a month early. This past spring, the admissions office asked for short letters from alumni about their Callison and SIS experiences to send to prospective students. My friend Wendy Case led the Callison effort, I led the SIS effort. Well, we couldn't use them all because there were just too many. They all said things like, great program, great experience. But more than that, virtually every one of these letters, no exaggeration, no hyperbole, every one of them underscored how this education affected their lives. Beyond fundraising and writing letters, many of these folks have volunteered countless hours of their time to SIS to help it in all sorts of ways. And you've helped me in my 8 years as director. For that, I am eternally grateful. I have honestly, and I've said this many times, I have honestly never seen an alumni commitment letter from the 60s for 2021. I tried to wrap my head around this, and one day I just had this epiphany on why this commitment exists. I shared this with one of my many conversations with my friend Frank Young, and he said something like, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said something like, yeah, that's a big part of it. That's the real value proposition. What is it? Something like this. A truly immersive international intercultural experience changes you in fundamental ways. Not just professionally, but personally too. And it lasts a lifetime. That was the epiphany. Why is that? Well, everyone who's lived and functioned abroad, and that's most of you here, you know why. People have done this, have had to overcome a plethora of challenges just to get through the day. Cultural miscommunication, disorientation, sometimes very difficult living conditions. Simple things like shopping, moving around town, conversing in English. It's hard work every day. You also learn things about yourself that sometimes you prefer you didn't learn about yourself, but it's still part of the experience. It's not for everyone, but it's enriching for others. And after you do it, you get it. And you bond with others who get it too. And you commit to doing things like this because you want to share it. I don't think this is just hyperbole. In fact, I remember something my friend, Professor Emeritus of Anthropology, Bruce LeBrac, is a member of both the Callison and SIS faculty. We were sitting at lunch in the old summit over here some years ago, and he asked me, he pointed to a table of SIS students having lunch, and he said, "Do you ever notice how students who return from abroad, they hang out together when they get back, even if they didn't before that?" Yeah, there's a bond. Anyway, when you supplement all of this with the excellent interdisciplinary academic experience that Callison students and SIS students have received, it's pretty clear we all understand why we're here today. Thank you.
I think we're introducing one more speaker, Bill.
We are. My friend Chris Sechet.
That's right.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Yes, sir.
Is it okay to take this off or not?
Yes.
I say that because I'm losing my voice. A lot of talking today. And last night in the cold wind. So this could be very brief. Thanks, Rena. Dan, where's Dan? Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Bill. And Janice, where are you? Janice, thanks so much for organizing this. I'm going to get to her. You're pointing to. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. It's wonderful to see a little turnout for our event. There's so many people that wanted to come to this event, but for all kinds of reasons, they're not here. So I hope that there's some recording going on. I saw a video person earlier, but now that person's going. There was a big video going on. So anyway, thanks for coming and joining. This is really a huge event for many of us. We spent 2-3 years on this effort. Of course, there's the fundraising part, but it didn't end there. Lots of stuff has gone on since then, including the display. But first and foremost, we are very grateful to the donors. 113. Over $30,000. 1 month early, but we even hit 31,000. So a little extra came dribbling in at the end. I love the applause I get over there. Could you raise your hand if you are a donor of this room right now? Because I'd like to see all the donors that are here. Thank you so much, donors. It was a tough journey. When we started, we said, how are we going to do this alone as Callison? Fortunately, SIS joined in. So we're so appreciative of the SIS support as well. It's a rich genealogy from Callison to SIS. I also want to take a moment to thank the Alumni Fundraising Committee, because some of the members are here today. They've been mentioned, but I want to have you raise your hand. First, Callison Fundraising Committee members, raise your hand. Randy, thank you so much. SIS Fundraising Committee member, there she is, Cheryl. Altogether, there were 8 of us, more or less, changing a little bit, as Bill said, over time, because it took a lot of work, huge collaborative effort, and it wouldn't have been possible besides the alumni. As gifted as they are, they're not able to do everything. And we had to depend on the incredible energy and leadership, initially of Jen. Jen, thanks so much for getting us launched. And along with Jen, Georgette joined us. Georgette, are you here today?
She might be downstairs.
She's probably involved in a few other things besides just this room. So, Jen and Georgette provided a lot of support. And of course, as I said, it didn't end just with the fundraising campaign. There was getting this room ready, all the display in here. Again, I want to thank Randy for the liaison, that, and 2 key people, Lisa that works here, and Mike of the library. Unfortunately, I don't think either one is here, but we can always thank Randy again. So, this is a really important place for us. But it's not about just Callison in the School for International Studies. It's really about international education, intercultural studies. That's a big topic. We could talk about that a long time, and what that means and how that's evolving over time. But it's important for us, the alumni of Callison, and I assume SIS, to acknowledge that the names of school are one thing, but what we gain from that education is far more important. And the journeys that we continue from our time at school is also an important part. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the Callison professors, because believe it or not, we have 2 of them here. Meredith. Callison before you jumped ship and went over to College of the Pacific. And Gil Shedler. How about SIS professors? Bill, Dan, anybody else from SIS professors? Teachers?
Howard.
Howard?
Yes, Howard. Howard teaches our Model United Nations. Model US, right here.
Okay.
Our very, very popular.
And it's also worth noting that Howard is on the SIS Advisory Committee. Does it still exist?
Excellent question.
Okay. It sounds like a deeper conversation. I'm losing my voice. As I stand here, Callison for me is the past, even though a few of us are still alive. Then we have this wonderful present tense of the School for International Studies and all the excellent work that it's doing. So that's important. Well, what's even more important is the future and how we want to see global education at UOP. And while I applaud all the work that goes on, I also know that when I talk to my colleagues at Albert Covell, Raymond Callison, SIS, there's a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and interest in envisioning what the future of global education and intercultural affairs can be at UOP. And we all stand ready to work with UOP on envisioning what the next chapter of that work might be. We look forward to working with SIS as the internal stakeholders. And I hope they know there's a vast array of external stakeholders from the cluster colleges who want to keep reimagining, resetting, re-envisioning the future of global education and studies at UOP. So we invite you to join the Big Tent around bold and audacious thinking around what that future might look like for global studies at UOP. Thank you.